All right, for this, we want to copy down the different shapes. These shapes look kind of complicated, but they're really not. For example, the cylinder, all I draw is a rectangle shape, and then I just create an oval on top, and then I mimic that same oval shape on the bottom. This time I'm not going to draw both sides of that oval because I'll have to erase it. Right, and then you've got that cylinder shape. Now for the cone shape, all I draw is a triangle, but instead of drawing a flat bottom, I'm just going to curve the bottom, similar to what I did with the cylinder. All right, and then we've got a cone shape. Next, we want to do a cube. Really, that's a simple diamond shape, and then drawing 3 vertical lines underneath that diamond, or underneath each corner, other than the top corner. Then what I want to do is I want to copy that same diagonal line on both sides. So I look at the top one, make sure I mimic that same diagonal line, and then you'll see that that looks like a cube. Now with the eyeball, there's basically 2 circles, and then cutting out the eye shiny spot, and then also that almond shape around the edges. So I start with a circle, then another circle, I've got the iris, now the pupil, and then a shiny spot. And then if I wanted to, I could make that shiny spot a little bit bigger. In this case, I decided to make it the width of the iris. Then I create an almond shape around the eyeball, really getting close to the iris. And that's the basic shape. So once I've done that, I'll place my black scratch art paper underneath those drawings. And then as I draw on top, as long as I put enough pressure, it will show up underneath. It'll be very light, but it'll still show up underneath. All right, so you can see it fairly well. Sometimes it's pretty difficult to see. But anyway, we've got the shapes kind of drawn out. Now we need to identify the light source. We're going to say it's coming from the top left corner. And starting on the top left corner of each object, we're going to create some crosshatch shading. And I go through this pretty fast. I just sped up the speed of the movie. But anyway, whatever's closer to the light source, that's what you want to scratch off more. And you just want to make it look gradual, going from light to dark. Now anything that it's touching directly, like the top of this cylinder, I'm going to scrape away all of that black area so that it looks like the light is just beaming right on top. And with the cylinder, I want to show you what happens when I outline the whole thing. So on the cylinder, on the right side, I didn't draw the outline of the right side. Now on this cone shape, I drew the outline on the right side. And you'll notice the difference. The cone shape doesn't look as good. All right, now a little trick I use is setting a piece of cardstock paper or another piece of paper on one side so that as I carve away the edges, I don't go past that point. That helps a little bit. And I carve out all the top area of that cube. So you notice the left side of the cube, I did crosshatch shading, 2 different directions. On the right side of the cube, I did lines just in that one direction. For the eyeball, I want to make sure anywhere that's black, I leave alone. So right around the pupil, I leave that alone. The shiny spot, I carve away completely. And then underneath, I added small lines to do smaller strokes for hair, and then longer lines for the top, because your projects might have either long hair or shorter hair. That's it.